I come from a long, long line of denim jean. Cut beside all types of fiends. I rob the DEA and overdose. Spend the cash on guns and coke. I am the warmonger, more crazy strong. Dropping drones inside Iran. I'm the big bad supercharged sex machine. All American extra lean. If you lose your cool, maybe I'll lose mine. You draw the red line. I love crossing red lose your cool, maybe I'll lose mine. You draw the red line, I see you on the other side. I take the M15 and the pound of green. I'm the triple crown king off the ketamine. I'm not fixing me, I'm fixing you. You can take these pills, red, white, and blue. They go down, down, down with the pack of beer. Then your eyes go dark and you cannot hear. I might tie you up, see what you got. I got a feeling that you're gonna get hot if you lose your cool. Maybe I lose mine. You draw the red line. I love crossing red lines. Stop. You talk that talk. You walk that walk. Who wears the red line? Maybe we can work it out. Maybe we can work it out. Oh, my friend, you seem upset. What's on your mind? Whoa, you got something you wanna say. Well, look me in the eye. Whoa, if you lose your cool, maybe I lose mine. You draw the red line. I love crossing red lines. Though in the middle of the night, I'm like a leopard on a heifer. Sneaking through your window, taking diamonds off your dresser. I got your sweet keys, plus the beat, and the end of weed on the seat of your Jeep, and my military speed. Hold up, baby, I smell pussy. Slipped into the tub and took your boyfriend's tushy. Cocked him, fucked him, left the dude silly while you staring at my ass and playing with your rubber dilly. Canine teeth lying on bloody concrete. I lay back, licking my butt, ripping the beat. It take 10 men to fucking apprehend me while I'm sitting in lotus position, 7 C's deep. Rato, con ese vato, up in my saddle. My shadow be sticking homies, we're putting paddle and I rattle like serpentine. Up in the trees when the breeze touch kitty pink squeeze. I'ma make 'em seize. Hardcore killer, fuck with the cat.
Yo, bitch, I'm hardcore killer. Fuck with the cap. Two system is the splitter. Thick thigh, pussy pillar. In car fucker. I leave a lover, chuck a brother. Under the cover. Suffocate on father.
Baby like apathy, what you know about me? I put the bone knife to your neck, pull free like stick 'em ass bang like a drum. Chick by the dick and I'm bound to.
All right. Good morning. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. It's Breakfast with Tal on Tal News. So good to see so many of you. Red Line was a good choice. I agree. It fit well with the overnight developments. I don't mean to be sardonic, but there's only so much you can take of this intensity and the world being on the precipice of chaos. And by the way, I just want to confirm, now that I have seen it for 2 nights in a row, That is a new type of Iranian cluster munition. This was fired over Erbil last night. You see the cluster munition deploying. You see it raining down. They're sending a warning. They have very new missiles. They're ready to fire them. We're not stopping those with Patriots. Look at how clustered those MIRV re-entry vehicles are. That's not an interception. That is what's called a cluster munition. Over Erbil, it's an Iranian cluster munition. They've used 2 of these now. One the night before over, I want to say Bahrain, maybe Kuwait, and then this one was over Erbil in northern Iraq last night. We got a lot to talk about. I only got an hour with you, by the way, because then I got to go to the towel doctor, and then I'll be back later today because God knows what's going to happen. Anyway, that was a sprint, though, to get through the past few days. There was a lot of court hearings. There was a lot of developments in the war. We just got to get through the next few hours, and then I can take you through developments with a little bit more calm on my side. All right, ladies and gentlemen. There also might be some kind of freaking hearing today in the Karen Reed case. I don't know. I got to check the docket. Somebody talk to Cal. This is Towel News. Good morning. So good to see you, all of you. It's just past 7:17 a.m. Eastern Time. Here in Boston, it is, what is it, Wednesday? Is it Thursday? July 16, 2026. That would make it 1:17 p.m. in South Africa, 2:17 p.m. in Tel Aviv, Israel, and 2:27 p.m., 2:47 p.m. Nice try, some of you, in Tehran, Iran. You thought you got me. You didn't get me. Anyway, good to see you all. My name's Grant Smith Ellis. We got things to do. We got a lot to talk about. There was a lot of overnight activity. This is a war stream. If you want to learn about various court cases, that is not the stream. This is not the stream for you. This is not the towel you're looking for. All right. Here's how it all went down. So, I, as you know, updated you through the situation yesterday morning, Eastern Time, regarding the war. We are going to pick up from that update, okay? We're going to pick up from the update. As you know, when we last left each other, there was a number of strikes by the U.S. On Iran, and then Iran started expanding the nature of its attacks, okay? So a lot happened yesterday, so we got to go. And then I was watching the England game. England lost. They were typical England. 1-0 up in the 85th, and they completely lose their mind. Jude Bellingham loses his mind, and England loses 2-1 to Argentina at the end of 90 minutes plus stoppage time. Just, can you get any more England? You are 5 minutes away from a World Cup final, and like finally breaking this curse for the English national team, and you collapse in 7 to 10 minutes and let 2 goals in. By the way, don't piss Lionel Messi off. Oh my word. Jude Bellingham pissed him off, and Messi helped Argentina score 2 goals in 7 minutes and then kicked England out of the World Cup. That was brutal. Man in the mirror, good morning, welcome. Enjoy your towel wrench. All right. So anyway, I was watching the football game yesterday. That's it. All right, see, this is that missile we got to talk about. But I got to get you all the way back to where we left off, or there won't be continuity in the day-to-day flow of the coverage. So I have to pick up exactly where we left off. Where exactly did we leave off? Let me see here. What time was it? Yesterday? Oh, God, yesterday was quite a day. Oh, yeah, the drone. Yeah. Oh, yes, the speaker. Oh, yes, the attack in southern Lebanon. Oh, yes, the the foreign ministry spokesman. The Israeli raid in southern Lebanon. Oh, goodness, yesterday was quite a day. Okay, I remember now where we left off. Now, if you like the Blood Guardians, then you know the last video we watched on part 87 was a video published by the Iraqi resistance in Iraq. Okay, they're an Iranian proxy group. Okay, and we're going to watch the video that they released because some of our friends out there really like the Blood Guardian videos. Okay, then we're going to move on to what happened throughout the day yesterday. So if you like what our dear friends sometimes call the pirate videos, these are the Blood Guardians. Very high production quality. And we look at what the different sides release to keep an eye on Like one, kind of like the fingerprints that they leave on their publications, because it's hard to tell sometimes what's real and what's not, what's from a group and what's just somebody making something and attributing it to them. So you got to keep up with it, and they change all the time. Like Hezbollah's consistent, Iran consistent with their videos, Houthis consistent, Blood Guardians consistent, but change, evolving. That's the best way I can explain it. Let's take a look.
Oh, that is rather wayward. Mbappe most definitely hit it with a lot of venom and little control. It carried hardly any danger. This is Lewandowski. He's got plenty of space out wide here. He is through here. Chance! Goal! Barcelona!
I think they're trying to make a point that the youth in Iraq trained on video games, and now they're very effective with drones. Moving on to yesterday morning, this was 11:22 a.m. Eastern Time, so it was in the afternoon in South Lebanon. Israel fired white phosphorus cluster munitions between the towns of Brashit and Beit Yahoun in southern Lebanon. Here's the primary source footage. Israel fired banned white phosphorus munitions in South Lebanon yesterday. Just want to be clear, white phosphorus munitions are banned. Okay? That is a white phosphorus bomb that Israel fired yesterday. It's a primary source video, so you don't have to debate about reports. You can look at the white phosphorus bomb being fired. That is a white phosphorus bomb. It is very dangerous. It's an incendiary munition. I call it the octopus bomb. So these munitions were initially developed in World War II to create like carpets, almost like curtains of smoke on the water for ships. They are like flares, but they fire downward and they burn things. They're not meant to be fired like this. They're meant to be like a smoke curtain for troops. This use of it is incendiary. You can burn things with it, and that's why they're illegal under international law. Now, there are exceptions to the use. There are times and places where you can use these bombs, like in open fields where your troops are moving and you want to smoke screen them. That's the only permissible use. Using it to burn homes and like civilian infrastructure is a war crime. And that's exactly what Israel did yesterday in South Lebanon. And Hezbollah did not fire at Israel, by the way, and has not for 3 weeks. So there's no excuse for this. What's their justification? Hezbollah is not firing at Israel. Trust me, I would know. I track every single attack. It's been weeks. So why are they doing this? Well, the way that the rules of war work, international law is a very young discipline, if you could even call it that. The way the rules of war work is nobody applies the rules of war during war. You got to win or lose the war, and then they apply the rules of war. Now, debate all you want about whether that's the appropriate way to do it, but all you can do is document it when it happens. No, there's no referee in war. The closest that you get, pardon me, it's very hazy here, by the way. There's been wildfires coming down from Canada, so our air quality is terrible right now. Using these kind of weapons, though, you won't get in trouble the moment you use them, but years on you will, if you lose the war, get in trouble. Especially if you kill civilians with a banned weapon. It's very serious. And this was yesterday in South Lebanon. Now, this is just how yesterday started. I'll take you through the rest of yesterday in 1 second. I have a new towel light for my camera. It prefers a little bit of light. Now, I need to also tell you, yesterday, overnight in Iran, the U.S. bombed a hospital complex, and it hit the Children's Cancer Hospital in, I believe, I'm going to have to check the location for you. I don't want to get it wrong. But I have the interview with the doctor in Persian who talks about it, so you need to be aware. Yeah, last night was a drastic escalation. I was very tired. And so I went to bed after last night's strikes concluded at 9 p.m. Eastern. However, you need to know, before they concluded, we did hit a children's hospital. But I first want to take you to this statement from CENTCOM. Yesterday, Iran claimed, the Iranian media, that the U.S. struck a civilian wheat storage facility in Hovazaya on July 14th. CENTCOM says that's false, and the truth is, on July 14th, the U.S. hit military targets in Bandar Abbas, Hormuz, Avaz, Keshem, Tunab, Bushehr, and Khuzestan to degrade Iran's ability to attack commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, says CENTCOM, Iran has targeted innocent civilians transiting the strait and in neighboring Gulf countries. Okay, so this was yesterday in the morning, U.S. time. There was then an airstrike by Israel in the town of Kunin in South Lebanon. Again, no attacks by Hezbollah before or after this. Okay, at the same time, yesterday, the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman was speaking in Tehran, and I'm going to show you that with English captions now.
شرایط جنوب کشور شب گذشتن به یک آسایشگاه ارتش حمله کردن. موضع ایران چیه؟
مشخص است. در دفاع کسی تردید نمی‌کنه از کشور. نیروهای مسلح ما با تمام توان جواب میدن. اینا همش مصداق تجاوز هست. کل این حملات خب غیر قانونی هست. مشخص است. زدند، میخورند. نیروهای مسلح ما نشون دادن در دفاع از کشور جنوب و شمال و شرق و غرب هم نداره. هر قطعه‌ای از خاک ایران، هر بخشی از خاک ایران متعلق هست به همه مردم ایران و بنابراین هر ضربه‌ای که دشمن به بخشی از خاک ایران بزنه قطعاً با پاسخ متقابل ما مواجه میشه.
So that was yesterday. Iran was telegraphing what was going to be the escalation. Okay? And then this is another clip. I only have it in Persian. Here's Iran's deputy foreign minister yesterday in the capital after the U.S. threatened to strike power plants and bridges. He said, quote, "Whenever the Americans strike, our armed forces will respond in the same manner." Quote, "This strategy by Washington has already failed once."
اقدامات تجاوزکارانه
No
که
captions
رژیم
on this.
آمریکا در انجام میده نیروهای مسلح ما قاطعانه به اون پاسخ میدن. هر اقدام تجاوزکارانه پاسخ قاطع جمهوری اسلامی ایران و نیروهای مسلح ما رو میطلبه که به اقدام خودشون مشغول هستن. ما هیچ تجاوزی رو و هیچ اقدامی رو علیه ملت ایران به پاسخ نمیدیم.
Hey Goldie, did you know I know more people in Israel that are sympathetic to the cause of Palestinians than I know people in I know more people in Israel sympathetic to the cause of the Palestinians than I know people in America who are sympathetic to the cause of Israel. So I paint with such a broad brush. You're not going to last long on this channel if you do that. There's a lot of mods.
داریم و پاسخهای قاطع به اینها خواهیم
There's
داد.
180 countries that watch this coverage. Okay? 180. You're not going to get very far by generalizing. Okay?
آمریکا، رژیم آمریکا، رئیس جمهور آمریکا باید بدونن که این مسیر مسیری است که قبلا
Let's continue. So now I'm going to show you the scenes of an Iranian, from the Iranian media, of an American Lucas drone being shot down in Bandar Abbas yesterday afternoon. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm half Jewish myself. I come from a Jewish family, although I'm a practicing Catholic. Long story. But the point is, I know a lot of my family. Some are very pro-Israel. Some are very pro-Israel but don't like Israel's government. Some are pro-Israel and like Israel's government. It runs the gambit. But there's no unifying position of every Jewish person I know, of every Arab or Muslim person I know, of every Christian or Catholic person I know. There's no unifying position. Every single one of them is capable of their own viewpoints. There might be unifying themes in some of their beliefs, but there's no generalized position for any group, in my opinion. Everybody's unique. Now, when you talk about, like holy texts, Jesus, for example, and you trace, where's Jesus quoted, and you talk about the Holy Quran or Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the Holy Quran and Jesus and the Virgin Mother, you realize that we're a lot more similar, the peoples of the world, than we are different. And it's because we get pigeonholed by generalizations that we think we're all so different. The only people that are really different are the people that worship Baal and Moloch. They're the evil ones. They want us to think that we all are different, when in reality, they're the problem. So yeah, if you are down with Moloch or Baal, you gotta leave America. But that's irrelevant, but hate the real evil. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so then yesterday, and this is actually incredibly important, about 7 p.m. as the sun is setting in Erbil, America is striking Iran, and then at the same time, Iran launches a series of strikes at Erbil International Airport, where the U.S. troops and base are located. This is the footage of what the aftermath of one of the first strikes on Erbil. Hi, Kanapi. So good to see you. Hi, Pick a Handle. Good to see you. God bless you. You're so right. This is Erbil last night. Now, the reason I show you this is we have been analyzing 666 Ray of Light, and I and Silent Dogs and others were analyzing some of the missiles that were fired 2 nights ago at Bahrain. Okay, one of them in particular, and we couldn't tell if it was an intercept or a cluster munition, because it didn't look like a Khorram Sharhar. When a Khorram Sharhar falls, it's very fast. The bomblets are falling very fast. What we saw fired on Bahrain 2 nights ago, and then what I'm going to show you fired at Erbil, not in this video, but the next one, oh my, it's a new type of Iranian cluster munition. But first, let's take a look at the attempted intercepts over Erbil from the ground last night. That would be last night in Iraq time, so probably yesterday afternoon in the U.S. That's a Patriot. Look at that thing go. That's an interceptor. Good morning, Joel. Kanapi, I saw you in the Intel Cam chat. We're going to get to the footage I clipped from the Intel Cam chat in just a few minutes. But look at that Patriot. That's a U.S. interceptor in Iraq. Look at that thing go. I just want you to see just the raw speed. And it hits a drone, too. It takes out an Iranian drone. That thing is brutally accurate and brutally fast. If you were on that thing, your body would collapse from the gravitational pull. You wouldn't be able to live. You would pull so many G's on you that you wouldn't be able to breathe. That thing is traveling faster than any airplane. It's literally one of the fastest things in the atmosphere you can imagine. And so it's got to be liquid fuel too, because look at how fast that thing is going. Wow. I've seen some very good interceptor footage. I've never seen it like that. And the cameraman, listen, praise the cameraman. Dude knew what he was doing. And you got the intercept too, which is crazy. It may look like just a guy filming an interceptor. It's not. You have to have a very steady hand to track an interceptor traveling at those speeds and follow it and capture the intercept. That's incredibly impressive. Both the intercept, look how precise. Do you understand? It's firing at a drone that's maybe like 20 to 30 feet wide and long at most, and that missile is way bigger, and that drone is going this way. The missile's hitting it at a horizontal trajectory. It's going this way. The missile's coming in sideways and hits it. It's perfect on the head. Well, Ukraine just got permission to produce PAC-3s, and Ukraine is working with Europe to create a parallel system to the Patriot for deployment by the end of 2026. Now, of course, Mr. President Trump had a waiver sitting on his desk allowing Ukraine to begin producing the vital components of the PAC-3 Patriot interceptors, which currently are limited to a production of 650 per year, okay, at the Lockheed facility in Redacted. But the point is that now that Ukraine has the license to produce the parts for the PAC-3, expect production capacity of the PAC-3 Patriot interceptors to go up to, I need to ballpark it because I'm just guessing, but expect by the end of 2026 production to go up to 650 per month. Per month. Now, we get most of them. The deal, I'm sure, is that we get most of them. They just have a license, a special export license to produce the PAC-3 interceptor parts that will increase production quotas. We get most of them. They get some of them as part of the deal. Nobody knows what the deal is, but that's probably the deal. We get them, we reimburse them for the cost, like we buy them at cost or whatever, and a little bit for the production. Then they get to keep, 10 of every 60 they make or whatever the deal is, and then they ship they don't even need to ship them to us. It's perfect. We don't need to move them around. We just deploy them from Ukraine to the bases in the Middle East. It's actually a very smart idea. Zelensky is very good at what he does. People mock him, but he not only survived 5 years of war by Russia, he's become a major player with drone interception contracts from 3 or 4 major deep-pocketed Gulf states, plus the only license in the world to produce PAC-3 Patriot interceptors. So, yeah, good luck beating Ukraine. Good luck. It's not going to happen. Putin's a madman. He's going to fight that war until his populace and the oligarchs overthrow him. And, yeah, that'll be his future. China's not going to save him. China threatened him the other day, from what I read on the diplomatic sort of chatter in the papers. Putin was getting really mad at Zelensky, because Zelensky and the American intelligence community, after Putin bombed the 1,000-year-old UNESCO church last month, Mr. President saw the pictures and gave Zelensky permission to work with the U.S. intelligence community, at which point Ukraine started striking 1,500 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers, and 2,500 kilometers into Russia, including in Moscow, the capital. And Putin got really mad and was going to use the nuclear option, and China threatened him. And China's the big boss. Listen, you think Putin's got power? He does, but it's fragile. China has the real power. Now, their population curve is about to slow down. They're going to learn the Japanese lesson. But, listen, you ever see pictures of Japanese schools, like, next to each other? You look at a Japanese kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, high school, and college next to each other. It's terrifying because of the way their population curve is playing out. They have no new generation. They just don't. They have more old people than young people. It's terrifying for them. The same thing's going to happen to China, but the latency on the population curve is maybe 25 years behind. We're going through it right now. The reason why America's production is stagnating overall is because we had a baby boom in the 50s. Like, if you're out there and you're in America and you can afford it, you got to have more babies, all right? We need more babies. Okay, we need more kids. It's very important. Like, the amount of babies you have is directly correlative to your economic output as a nation. And the countries with the highest economic output and largest gross domestic production are the ones that control international policy. So if you want this country to be strong, you must have babies. Okay, you must have lots of babies. Ideally, I don't know, like 4 per family if you can afford it. 5, that would be great. You know, don't go too overboard. Like 5 is probably good. But yeah, we got to increase that birth rate, because if we run into the Japan problem, we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed. We won't be able to do it. We have more people than them, and we can't have more old people than young people. China's going to run into that problem in like 50 years. It's already starting to happen. That's why they got rid of the one-child policy. Their population curve is going this way, but they're higher, obviously, population-wise. And I don't mean total population. I mean birth rate. Their birth rate right now is higher compared to their death rate than ours by a lot. It's starting to go down. Ours is plateauing, but we dropped a lot after the baby boomers. I don't know what the hell happened with those selfish, like, 80s and 90s, like, children. I don't know what they were doing, but they stopped having babies. And now it got worse. It got really bad this generation. The birth rate is down to like 1 per married family, if that. It's terrible. And it's a latent impact. So if we don't start having more children in the United States, we will not be able to compete. And no one's talking about it. People are just kind of ignoring it. But we must have more babies. It is an imperative. It's your national duty. If your wife or your husband has questions, you tell them, listen, if we can afford it, the man on the Towel News said that we have to have more babies. All right, so go out and if you want to and you're able, have more babies. Everything else is irrelevant if we fall too behind on the population curve. The reason I'm analyzing this is that's why Russia's weak. Because first of all, Putin just throws his population to the front lines and they get slaughtered by conscription. Second, Russia's economic output is not correlative to its population, because they have a system that's from the Soviet era where it's like a dictatorship. So they could kill half their population. They're still going to generate economic production unless you hit their oil refineries, which is what Ukraine's doing. China has so much power and such a large population and such a advanced economic model that they are the ones that call the shots. And when they threaten Putin, that tells you all you need to know about the fact that Putin really upset his allies by letting Ukraine, because Putin couldn't win the war, rise to prominence as a new axis of geopolitical power in the world. It's a very similar situation with Iran. Iran would have been weaker if the war didn't happen. By attacking Iran and them roaring like a lion, they have become a new axis of geopolitical power in a multipolar world. It's not really the age of empires. It's something new. It's more akin to like NATO as an example, and then like the Gulf Cooperation Council, and then whatever Iran wants to set up, and then the BRICS, and then whatever Russia represents, like a new Soviet Union. They're going to try to take Transnistria from Moldova, etc., etc. They have Belarus. So, yeah, it's very interesting. I would say they're going to take Turkmenistan, but frankly, I don't know if anybody wants Turkmenistan. I don't mean to be mean to the Turkmen people. I'm sure they're wonderful. But have you ever been to Turkmenistan? You know what I'm saying? Turkmenistan is the only country on the world that's run by, like, a crazy man. And North Korea, say what you will about it being a hermit kingdom, they're crazy like a fox. Okay? Turkmenistan, the man who runs that country, all due respect to him, I've never met him, is out of his mind. Okay? Literally out of his mind. He makes the strangest laws. He's like a one-man dictator. So I don't even know if Russia wants Turkmenistan, but they could probably get it if they wanted it, because Turkmenistan's very pro-communist. They love the Soviet Union. They still have Soviet monuments in Turkmenistan, including one that's like 500 feet tall. I don't even know why they built that thing. Anyway, it's like some giant woman with like a hammer and sickle, like looking out over the Turkmen mountains. But my point is, they could definitely get Transnistria from Moldova, potentially, which is on Ukraine's east, which is even more which is even more dangerous, okay, because Russia's on its east. And Belarus is to the north of Ukraine, and then that's right on the NATO front along Poland and whatever. You got to remember, Russia's got Kaliningrad, the exclave oblast, which is basically in Europe. It used to be Königsberg, which is where Professor Kant was, and of course, that was part of what I like to call the Bavarian Empire, which never existed. I just decided that the Bavarians were in charge of the Habsburg Empire, which is not true. But anyway, the Franco-Prussian, or the Prussian Empire. But the point is, Russia has territorial ambitions in Eastern Europe, and they want to rebuild a Soviet bloc. Putin is a communist. Not like in ideology, but he's just a Stalinist dictator who was trained by Stalin's people in the SVR. That's all the KGB is. Maybe vice versa. The point remains the same. So, yeah, Putin's dangerous. China's less dangerous, but dangerous in their own ways. And the world is shifting rapidly because of the fact that people start wars they can't win, and thus entrench countries that would have otherwise been weaker but for the war into a new axis, which maybe is what the world deserves, and that's how history will move forward. Oh, that was an interesting lecture. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, good morning. Now I'm going to take you in. This is Towel News. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. Now I'm going to take you into the video that I think is most imperative for our analytical purposes, which is this cluster munition that was fired at Erbil. Now, 666 Ray of Light and I have been analyzing this along with Silent Dogs for a few days. This is a new piece of footage from Erbil overnight. That is a cluster munition. That is not an intercept. Look how slow it's falling. It's a new weapon. Ah, the Bavaria Motor Works, of course. Okay, now I'm gonna... Did we already look at the interception of the drone over Erbil? Let's take a look at a different angle of it. This is Erbil last night. Then we'll look at that cluster munition. Then I'll take you through the strikes on Kuwait. Hopefully we'll get caught up by about 8:30 a.m. Then I gotta go to the doctor. And then we'll see what happens during the day. But we can't fall behind right now because I sense pending escalation. Oh, that was a drone intercept, indeed. That was a drone being intercepted over Erbil. Now, look at how that intercept looks. You notice how there's no falling debris? There's a little, but it doesn't look like a freaking firework falling down on the ground. Oh, there is a Karen Reed hearing today. It's at 9:45. I'm not going to be able to cover it. So if someone could let Trial Channel know that we're going to need a recording. Tal's got to go to the towel doctor. So he can't cover today's Karen Reed hearing. Kuwait 45 minutes ago was shooting down hostile drones. Oh, damn it. And Israel just bombed Nabatayeth. This is an intercept over Erbil, but I just want to point out to you an intercept of a drone. Okay, that was a good shot. That was the one we watched from before, but from a closer angle. It leaves a little bit of debris, but it doesn't leave a sparking shower of fireworks. Okay, here's a picture from Chabahar, Iran last night. Okay, where the U.S. launched a litany of strikes. Well, Jonah, I'm not in a position to analyze because I don't have access to like confidential or classified info, but I would just recommend watching a documentary on Turkmenistan, and as strange as it may sound, I think you will come away with a new appreciation for the current leadership of America. That's me putting it very lightly. Now I'm going to show you more of the direct impacts. Although some drones were intercepted, this is some of the direct impacts that were on Erbil. You can see the fire burning at the American base at the Erbil airport. And remember, that's where our interceptors are. What's making me think that Iran's going to attack Israel is that everything that Iran is doing right now is designed to degrade the ability of American forces to intercept missiles heading to Israel. They're not hitting things that have high strategic value for attacking Iran. They're attacking rad domes and CRAM radars and interceptor sites. This is a very obvious telegraphed series of attacks that what the Iranians, I think, are doing is they're striking the ships so that they want to demonstrate control over the Strait of Hormuz, but the primary reason I think Iran's striking the ships is so America will strike Iran. And then Iran's using the American strikes on Iran as cover. It's war is deception, as cover to strike American positions so that the American and Israeli leaders will think that it's Iran just retaliating, tit for tat. But what Iran's really doing is degrading American defensive capabilities in anticipation of a major strike on Israel. By the way, is anyone starting to wonder if maybe and I got a text this morning, so God bless the person who said this, or an email. Do you think maybe the reason President Trump's a little bit concerned about Cuba is because Iran might have sent some drones over to Cuba? And you think maybe, just maybe, Cuba might have something in the works? The kind of thing that would generate a substantial amount of American support for the war? The kind of thing that an administration that wants to go to war would be inclined to let happen? Those Shahed drones are not very hard to transport. Some of them are like this small. How far do they have to go? 90 miles or so? What's on the Gulf of Mexico down, or Gulf of America, as Mr. President would say? What's down there on the ports in Louisiana? Isn't that the refinery we use to import the Venezuelan oil? The crude? The heavy crude. Huh. That's probably what, like 150, 300 miles? How much is that in kilometers? What's the range of those drones? Yeah. So I'm just saying, folks should keep their eye on that. I don't know what this escalation is going to entail, but everything that I see is Iran trying to hide a surprise strike. And that's the one thing they kind of tested it the other day when they surprise struck on the HIMARS position in Kuwait. Remember, we showed that on the stream. They're telegraphing something. They're trying to hide it, but it's coming. I don't know what it is. I'm just trying to warn people. This is Avaz, Iran, last night. Yeah, and I also imagine it would be very hard to actually succeed unless the administration, the current government, wanted an attack on America to happen. I don't think you could actually attack America. We have the best air defenses. You see our subsidized, outsourced air defenses in the Middle East. Wait till no one ever, as far as I know, has seen what we have domestically. No one has ever seen it. You want to know where all that money went? Try to fly. Listen, they could send 700 drones. They could send 1,000 drones. They'd be lucky to get one through. That doesn't mean it can't happen. But yeah, I don't even think American citizens realize what our defensive capabilities are. For good reason. You don't really need to know unless it happens. And then you'll know. And then you'll be like, oh wow, yeah. This is Avaz, Iran. Hello, Madeline. Good morning. Hello, Elvaro. Hello, Triple Bob. Well, Triplet Bob, I agree. I do think I agree with both of you. Northside Ragnarok, so good to see you, and so good to see you, Triplet Bob. I agree with both of you. It only takes one, and also they will send a lot. Their goal is to just overwhelm the air defenses. This is Avaz Iran last night, by the way. And things pick up very intensely after this.
همین الان اهواز.
Yeah, they'll send. You would have to send a lot. Okay, so right after that, the sirens started in Bahrain. That was 3:41 p.m. yesterday. Now, let's take a look at the footage that I feel is the most important to analyze from overnight. Folks need to take this for the warning it is. This is now, one time if we saw this, as I mentioned, we were debating if this was an intercept. No, this is a cluster munition. It is a new type of Iranian cluster munition. Do you see where the munition fired? That's the sort of poof of the munition firing its cluster. That is an Iranian cluster munition. Hello, Neo Mortal Girl. So we have, for those of you who watched the other night, this is the second night in a row, overnight, Wednesday into Thursday, that Iran had Iran has put in the field a new type of cluster munition, and you're looking at the primary source footage. Tripoli Bob says, I don't agree. If we had the tech to stop drones, we wouldn't have lost billions in radar facilities. A compelling point. I can't really argue against that. My only argument against that would be we might not know what domestic intercept capabilities we have. That's all I would say. We might have like drone disabling like tech that we haven't deployed yet because we don't want the enemy to know about it, etc. War is deception after all. Welcome to Towel News. We have about 30 or 45 minutes before I have to go to the towel doctor. I'm going to show you now more footage from Erbil last night. Here's an interceptor going up. Oh, that was that interceptor hitting that drone from another angle. Pretty zoomed in. Pretty impressive footage to actually see an interceptor hit a drone. That's a fast, big missile hitting a small drone. Speaking of that, Tripoli Bob, what do you think of this intercept of a drone? You got to give the interceptor credit there. It did a pretty good job. That drone is no more. Hello, Crypto. Well, Crypto, you know, there's 182 countries here. You're going to find a lot of American citizens really don't support the actions of the government. You know, you'll find a lot of Americans actually will listen to your perspective, etc. But yeah, we don't all believe the same stuff. There's another impact in Erbil, and then one more video that I think is the most important. I need to just explain to people, this is not the last time you're going to see this missile. It's a new missile. I don't know where it came from. It's only been seen twice, okay? It's an Iranian cluster munition. It was fired once at Bahrain, so it's got to be a hypersonic ballistic missile that when it gets into the atmosphere and very close to the ground, launches a cluster MIRV, multiple independent reentry vehicle warheads. Okay, so take a look. Look how slow it's falling. I'm very concerned about this. I don't think people are taking these seriously enough. Iran is trying, like, this is clearly a missile that you fire when you're sending a message to someone. You're saying, like, that's like a firework in the sky. You're trying to say to people, we have this, we're gonna fire it. Chronically Folgers, I love that username. I actually saw that the other day and meant to add you as with a wrench, so I'm so glad you joined us. Good morning, Bella Mama. God bless you. Thank you so much for your support. One Hand, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much. The Justice Served interview last night was very interesting. Okay, so I just want you to, and I'm going to bookmark this. I just want you to bookmark that I'm telling you that this missile, I've seen it twice now. I'm telling you it's dangerous, okay? Now I'm going to show you footage last night at the Ahmed Riza checkpoint in Chabahar at 10:38 p.m. local time. So that's last night at 10:38 p.m. local time in Iran, in Sistan and Baluchistan province. This was an attack on an IRGC checkpoint, I believe. Strike on an IRGC checkpoint overnight. Now, after that, as those strikes were ongoing, America was also launching HIMARS, or ATACMS ballistic missiles. This was the launch from Kuwait of American HIMARS last night.
الكويت العباس لازم الكويت والعباس كويت كمان الكويت الكويت العباس لازم الكويت والعباس كويت كمان الكويت.
Yes, and this is a Breakfast with Towel stream, so good morning to you all who are just waking up. Let's take a look at more American launches from Kuwait towards Iran overnight, just 13 hours ago.
همین الان اهواز اولی رو اینجا زدن، دومی رو اینجا.
Okay, so that was the launches from Kuwait towards Iran by the United States last night. Okay, now I'm going to take you to the pictures of the Iranian drones, okay, that the IRGC Aerospace Force has started to fire. These were fired yesterday. The IRGC said it was to honor the soul of the Iraqi martyr Najam Abdullah Khalid, whom the IRGC alleges was assassinated by the Kuwaiti government. Okay? So these are the new IRGC drones. First time these were seen. They're a new model. It's tough to tell exactly how long they are. You can kind of tell by the writing. They look to be like 5 feet to 7 feet across, maybe 3 feet long. Single turbine in the back, and I can't see the front. So a little bit better picture there. You can see they have these drone storage facilities. It looks, we're probably underground. I can't. So a smart man from the bedrock can tell where someone is underground based on the composition of the bedrock. They smartly imported brick from somewhere else and laid brick over the floor of their tunnels so that you can't tell what the bedrock is that they're on. This is an underground drone facility, most likely. They bring these things out. They make hundreds, if not thousands, a day. They bring them out and they put them on a little ramp, and the ramp takes them to a launch site like miles away. Good morning, Alvaro. Indeed, you're wonderful. Thank you so much, Truth Seeker. I love those that chili. Thank you for those jewels. Those jewels always boost my spirits and energy. All right, so that's the new IRGC drone. Important to keep an eye on that. Now, the Children's Hospital in Avaz was hit. The cancer hospital last night. Okay, this is the scene from the strike on the hospital complex. Then I'm going to show you an interview with the doctor. But this is the strike on Avaz that hit the hospital. And there's a... Is that a child? That's horrifying. We hit a cancer hospital. So that's the Avaz Children's Hospital. It didn't hit the actual building. It hit right near it in the hospital complex. And the children had to be evacuated. I'm going to show you a primary source interview in a second. But that is the actual footage. It can't be denied. That is the Avaz hospital complex. That is a video from the ground of the strike. Okay? Now, people got very upset about this. And this was very similar to when America hit the school in Minab and killed over 150 children. When you do this, Iran makes it like a cause. They get very upset. Okay? So I'm going to show you how this played out. So here's more pictures from on the ground in Avaz. So this is that same video, just somebody put their watermark on it. It was clearly not his video originally, because we just saw it without a watermark. I don't like when people do that. Sounds from Ahvaz when the strike hit. Lurley, Nightbot's a little sensitive. Nightbot, be nice to Lurley. Now I'm going to take you to a scene, I think, from within the hospital complex in Ahvaz. Oh, God.
Allahu Akbar.
That's terrifying. And I don't mean to... We have a lot to get caught up on. And this is a breakfast stream, and then I have to go to the doctor. And then I will be back. But yes, the biggest development overnight is that a cancer hospital for children in the Iranian city of Ahvaz was hit by shelling, by American bombs, and evacuated. Not directly hit, but the complex was hit, and the shelling caused the hospital to be evacuated. 4 hits. You're going to hear a doctor talk about it very shortly. Here is what started confrontations yesterday. America reimposed the blockade of Iranian ports. A ship from Iran tried to go to an Iranian port. Immediately, America bombed the ship. There's the ship. There's America bombing it and claiming it. That's CENTCOM footage. And then we bombed it again. We double tapped the engine room to disable the ship. And now the ship doesn't move anymore. So again, America, right in this footage, strikes the Iranian ship attempting to go to... It's just a civilian ship trying to go to port. It's an oil tanker. And then they strike... America strikes it again to disable the engine. They're not trying to sink it. They're disabling it. Okay? Great interview with Justice Served. So then the strike started. America was striking from 7 to 9 p.m. last night. In response, Iran started shelling Kuwait. Here's the first video from Kuwait. Multiple direct hits in Kuwait. You can see Kuwaiti air defenses were put up a notice yesterday at 7 p.m. Eastern that they were engaging with hostile Iranian attacks. Then Israel, while that was happening at 7 p.m. Eastern last night, struck the town of Beit Yahoun in southern Lebanon. Then the other takeaway from last night is the Iranian capital of Tehran was attacked. One IRGC base was struck. Multiple air defenses were activated. Iran shot down a second drone, an MQ-9 Reaper drone, over East Azerbaijan province. You can see here the statement from the Kuwaiti army. Now I'm going to take you to the hospital in Ahvaz. Okay, it was damaged by the strikes in Iran. Now I'm going to take you to an interview with the doctor with English captions. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, this is the doctor last night speaking. I did this before I went to bed at 8 p.m. Eastern, so it was early morning in Iran. As he was evacuating his patients from the hospital, English captions provided by Towel News.
آخرش بیادمونی میراد انفجارهای متعدد 4 بار پشت سر هم زد طوری بود که کلا موج گرفت داخل و بیمارا حتی ایشون هم که اگه ببینه از تخت اومده بدم بیام پایین کلا واقعا موجش خیلی سنگین در مورد بیماران صحبت رو برای اینجا بیمارایی هست خب بیمارای سرطانی بیمارای خاصن که همشون با یه وضعیت خیلی نابهنجار یعنی تخت این نیست که بیمارایی که مثلا تصادفی باشن یا اینا بیمارای خاصن و اینجا هم متاسفانه چنان اینقدر زدن بمباران شده بود طوری بود که اصلا بیماری خاص که تنفسش با اکسیژن و نمیدونم حالا دستگاه ونتیلاتور و ما این توبه داشتیم هم طوری شده بود که اصلا اونا تکون خوردن شیشه ها و موج انفجار زیاد بود اینقدر نزدیک بود ما گفتیم شاید بیمارستان رو کلا زدن طبقات بالا رو زدن واقعا همین بود که کلا پرسنل و بیمار و همراه و همه اصلا ریختن بیرون با هر شرایطی بودن اصلا طرف اطفال ما بچه‌ش تو بغلش بوده سرم تو دستش بوده نمیدونم اون یکی حالا با ویلچر بردن یکی اومده زیر بغلش گرفته با هر چیزی بوده کشیدن بیرون رفتن
Silent Dogs America struck a hospital complex in Avaz last night, forcing the evacuation of the children's cancer ward, as you just heard from the doctor. That is an interview translated from the Persian to English by Towel News with the doctor at the facility. There has been no American response to this, what happened overnight. So this just happened about 12 hours ago. This is in the Iranian port city of Avaz, which is kind of in the north near Basra, Iraq, and Kuwait. I can show you on the big map. So behind me, if you take a look, we're talking about the Iranian city of Avaz, which is right here. Okay? See the big map? Okay? I gotta zoom out to show you. That's the capital of Iran behind me. That's the Strait of Hormuz down here. This is Avaz. It's south of Dezful. It's to the east of Basra. It's near Kuwait. So Kuwait's here. Okay? Basra. That's a Penne exclave. So it's a strip of land that's bordered by two different countries, Iran to the east, Kuwait to the west, its own country, Iraq to the north, and then a piece of water, which is the Persian Gulf to the north, okay? To the south, the north of the Persian Gulf. Now, this is Avaz, okay? So it's the kind of place you'd attack if you were going to try to go in here, you know? And it's also the kind of place you'd attack if you were worried Iran was going to try to take, like, Basra and Kuwait. Okay? It's a very important location. But there's no reason to strike a hospital. And that's what happened last night. And we're going to watch this interview one more time, because this, outside of the attack on the Iranian capital, this was the biggest development overnight, with English captions. Yeah, but Truth Seeker, this was documented. The propaganda might be what they choose to highlight and let out, but yeah, if the doctor's saying, they've never put a doctor on TV and said I had to evacuate my hospital because a bomb hit it. So if this doctor is saying that, it may be propaganda to the effect that this is what the Iranian state wanted to let out, but he's not lying. He's telling you what happened.
بیمارا حتی ایشون هم که اگه ببینه از تخت اومده بدم بیام پایین کلا واقعا موجش خیلی سنگین. در مورد بیماران صحبت کنم. برای اینجا بیمارایی هست. خب بیمارای سرطانی بیمارای خاصن که همشون با یه وضعیت خیلی نابهنجار، یعنی تخت این نیست که بیمارایی که مثلا تصادفی باشن یا اینا، بیمارای خاصن. و اینجا هم متاسفانه چنان اینقدر زدن بمباران شده بود، طوری بود که اصلا بیمارای خاص که تنفسش با اکسیژن.
Silent Dogs, I think it's probably more apropos to say those people from Germany at that time adopted like pagan symbols and Roman symbols to intimidate people.
نمیدونم حالا دستگاه ونتیلاتور رو ما این توبه داشتیم هم طوری شده بود که اصلا اونا تکون خوردن. شیشه ها و موج انفجار زیاد بود. اینقدر نزدیک بود ما گفتیم شاید بیمارستان رو کلا زدن، طبقات بالا رو زدن. واقعا همین که کلا پرسنل و بیمار و همراه و همه اصلا ریختن بیرون. با هر شرایطی بودن، اصلا طرف اطفال ما بچه‌ش تو بغلش بوده، سرم تو دستش بوده، نمیدونم اون یکی حالا با ویلچر بردن، یکی اومده زیر بغلش گرفته، با هر چیزی بوده کشیدن بیرون رفتن.
And by the way, the new supreme leader of Iran is younger than his father, obviously, was. And he encourages the state media to show what happens now. It's a change in policy. It's only like 2 weeks old. It came through his advisor at the Supreme National Council. Now, I need to move on quickly. I mentioned to you all the ship LAINI was sinking in the Strait of Hormuz. I need to show you new footage from on the ship, which is completely down. It's gone now. Somebody went on it. I don't know why this man went on it, but that ship is done. It's sunk. It managed to stay afloat somehow, but that ship is gone. Safety first, ironically. That's going to be the new motto of this channel. Safety first. All right, safety first, everyone. Safety first. When your ship is sinking, always remember especially if it's been hit by an Iranian cruise missile. Safety first. And also, ideally, run off the ship, because it's probably going to sink. Now, if you want to see footage that I showed you yesterday, that was just follow-up footage. This is the footage of that boat. Okay, that boat is gone. Iran sunk that boat. They were made. They sunk that boat. So if you've ever wondered, I don't mean to be sardonic, but if you've ever wondered, Grant, what's it like if Iran sinks my oil tanker in the middle of the Strait of Hormuz? Well, this is what it's like. It's not pleasant. Seems a little dangerous. So yeah, you gotta run to the back, to the bow of the ship, and then you gotta meet up with the local, rescue boats. Then you gotta abandon ship, and then you gotta run. And apparently you film a little bit on your way out. Yeah, well, Silent Dogs, do you have to listen to instructions if the only real country on the earth is Easter Island? Listen, I'm willing to listen to instructions from the government of Easter Island, because I've talked to Silent Dogs about this extensively. The only real country on the earth is Easter Island, okay? So in that regard, if Easter Island didn't tell them they can't go through, Silent Dogs, I'm sorry, they're allowed to go through. All right? Rapunai. It's called Rapunai. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, now I'm going to take you to Erbil, where the Franzini family mansion was set on fire following an interception of an Iranian drone by American missiles. Yep, well, listen, Silent Dogs, I understand, but listen, some ships only recognize the government of Easter Island, which I don't even think is a real thing, so, Alright, here are the interceptors going up in Bahrain overnight, catching you up on everything that happened overnight. I didn't realize there was so much. Good morning, Trixler. American interceptors going up over Bahrain. Okay, I'll show you a low-level interception of a Shahed drone over Bahrain last night. Damn, that was a hell of an interception. Wait a minute. Oh, that was loud. So that's what an interception sounds like. Triplet Bob, I don't know. We seem to be getting pretty good at hitting those drones with missiles. I mean, it took that thing out. It's very loud. But that drone is gone. See, that's an interceptor. It's on a parabolic arc. It actually goes up, and then it locates the drone below it and locks on and just wrecks it. That drone didn't stand a chance. Silent Dog says that was a good interception. I agree. I mean, we can get them. Silent Dogs also says this is a very rare video to see this kind of thing, so we'll watch it one more time. So that would be an interception over Bahrain just about 12 hours ago last night during what can only be described as the most intense strikes by Iran on Bahrain and Kuwait of the war. I'm now going to take you to Engels, Aengels, Russia last night, which was struck hard by Ukraine following Russian strikes on the Ukrainian capital of Kiev.
Комментарий не ебануло. Да. Полетели, спиздите в теле.
That like telescope lens is fingerprint of footage that comes out of Russia. Here's more footage from Russia last night after an Ukrainian strike. Oh yeah, that's anti-aircraft fire. We're going to see the strike. Oh, we saw the strike. One more time. That's a Ukrainian hit in Engels, Engels, Russia last night.
Вон там еще полетели. Сейчас там не будет опять. Че, все? Кина не было? Куды? Ева. А вот попал. А, вон уже домой включается. Вот. Плюс светает.
Okay, hold on. Reset. Everybody relax. Chat reset. Chat moms. Okay, I've declared a reset. The speaker has called for a chat reset. You are thus commanded to present to this honorable house your best emojis, including but not limited to sheep, goat, cat, dog, and other animal-related emojis. Now, if you've never been here for a chat reset, they kind of go back to the more intense moments of the war, and you can just post animal emojis. If you're a member, you have these really fun emojis. You know, you have Kofi, Bunny Towel Mom's dog, Kofi. He's a dog. His name is Kofi. We have a sheep emoji. Oh, hi, Towel Girlfriend. You're wonderful. We have a penguin emoji. We have David Yannetti as a stone-faced man on the mountain. We have Primo's dog. He's a nice doggo. We have Kofi, as I mentioned. There's also Chloe the dog in a wig. She's in the Doggy Witsec program. But anyway, chat resets are really fun. A lot of emojis tend to go up really fast, so have fun. Oh, pick a handle. That's our great turtle emoji. Tiffany Bob, what a great David Yannetti emoji. Pleasure Boater, those are some great emojis. What is that there? Is that a goat? Is that a ram? Oh, is that a seal? I love them all. I love Sarcasm. Posted some cupcakes. Hello to all the wonderful cupcakes. But someone asked me where my hat was yesterday, by the way, that I've been wearing. The wonderful, I went to Cancun with Attorney Melanie Little hat. I put it down while I was doing laundry, and it's buried. Okay? It exists. It's in the laundry pile. It's not going to get washed. But I like had my shirt on. I took my shirt off, and it was like in the shirt. So I have to find it. Okay? I got to just go back to the last day I was wearing like that hat and find the shirt that it's in. But I know it is around, okay? Because I did not take it off except for when I took my shirt off. Anyway, the point is, shout out to all the cupcakes. You pick a handle. That's a wonderful duck emoji. Tiffany Bob, what a wonderful Pete Bunny emoji. He's doing well. He's been napping. He's waiting to see his friend Francine. RN2 Moms, what a great turtle emoji. Oh, that's right. We also have pancake emojis now. Did you know we have a full stack of pancakes? Where are they? Where's the pancake emoji? There it is. Maybe you like pancakes. I really like pancakes. And we have a whole stack of pancakes for that one Oracle LA. All right, let's continue. Now, it gets a little brutal, so I'm going to give you a sound warning. I knew it was going to be right here. I was watching this live. Okay, I didn't have time. I was very tired. So I didn't have time to go live last night. I needed to rest. This footage is of Kuwait last night. It is extremely loud. There were no air raid sirens, and this area of Kuwait got rocked 3 times, 2 to 3 times. You're going to hear 2 explosions, and you see an interceptor going up to start. You're going to hear very loud explosions. Please be aware. Turn your headphones down now. So that was last night. It was at exactly 7:50 p.m. Eastern, 2:50 a.m. In Bahrain, and you in Kuwait. I put Bahrain as the local time, but it's Kuwait. And there were no air raids, and they got rocked. Now I'm going to show you more footage of the explosions in Kuwait. Okay, I'm going to keep taking you through it. I have a doctor's appointment, so we have to get through a lot because we need to get ready for whatever's going to happen later today. Here's Bahrain last night, interceptors. Oh, there's that intercept again, Silent Dogs. Not as good footage, but there's that intercept with the in Bahrain. Lower angle this time. That was that drone intercept. I wouldn't be surprised if the Russians got Lindsey Graham, but also that means America must respond. Here's footage from Bahrain of American interceptors. Oh, that's that same intercept. Listen, Silent Dogs, the people of Bahrain, those are different angles. They're really good at filming these missiles. That's that intercept we talked about in Bahrain. That's the sound of an intercept. Notice the distinct sound of an intercept versus a hit. An intercept has more of an airburst sound to it. A hit has almost like a and then a whoosh. Whereas I'm doing my best to make sounds like missiles. But the distinction is a missile hitting the ground sounds like a whip cracking and then a very loud roar. An intercept sounds like an airburst, like a pop, like a firework, but a very big one, popping in the air. It's loud, but it doesn't have that 1-2 of the strike on the ground. So if we are ever listening to a camera and we can't see what's going on, there's a distinction between an intercept and a hit. A hit, you know it's a hit. An intercept's harder to detect because stuff explodes in the air all the time. Anti-aircraft shells, all this stuff. The flares from jets trying to evade anti-aircraft stuff. But a hit sounds like a hit. Ground smack, very loud whip. And then roar. I mean, if it's a ballistic missile, it's going to, like you just heard in Kuwait, it's going to roar so loud that you're going to think that there's a tornado enveloping the area because of the shockwave. Okay, so it's like the sound of the ground ringing. Yeah, that's definitely it. And it's also just the speed. Remember, it's traveling at Mach 5, these hypersonics, in the atmosphere, and it's hitting hard ground. They strike hard ground on purpose because the damage is caused by the shockwave. And when you strike hard ground, the ground is the backstop. Force equals mass times acceleration. Do you know how much force you can dispel outwards if you use hard ground, a hypersonic missile, and then the force multiplier here is the size of the warhead? So if you have a Mach 5 object striking hard ground as a backstop, which is going to displace the force outwards, and you have anything from a 500 kilogram to, 3,000 kilogram warhead, you're talking 1,000 to 6,000 pounds, up to 8,000 pounds. Smack that ground, that thing is going to radiate out a shockwave that, depending on the size of the warhead, is going to take advantage of force equals mass times acceleration. Remember, it accelerates more when it gets close to the ground, and it's going to decimate anything around it. The crater is going to be huge, but the point is Iran uses the crater not as the primary point of destruction, but to displace the shockwave outwards. Now that's just with a hypersonic ballistic. That's different than an MIRV, like a Khorramshahr or a cluster. Those are meant to just rain hell down on large areas indiscriminately. Please, people thought Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. Try the Iranian cluster munitions. Okay, now, this is when I knew things were heating up, but I do have to go to the doctor, so we got to be snappy. I've been doing okay, but, you know, my health, it's always in flux, and I don't know, there's just something wrong with my general existence. I'm sewn together, so I don't know what to tell you. But, yeah, from hip to hip. But yeah, this is where the bombing was in Zanjan in Iran, to the west of Tehran last night. I knew things were getting serious when this happened. Little did I know how intense it was going to be. Now I'll take you to Kuwait. This is just a group of people hanging out filming HIMARS launch, an American missile launching at Iran from Kuwait. Good morning, Spacey 118. For those tuning in, this stream will be ending in the next half an hour, so I got to go to the towel doctor. But I will be back with you later today for more coverage. It's wild that when you live in Kuwait, you might just be having like a braai or a barbecue. Shout out South Africa. A barbecue on a barbie, a barbecue on the side of the road. That's more Australian. And you look out into the, Kuwaiti desert, and all of a sudden there's an American missile just shooting off at Iran. That's what it's like to live in Kuwait. Now remember, the reason, you might be like, wait a minute, why would the Kuwaiti citizens want to reveal this? Like, they don't want Iran to know where the missiles are coming from. Oh yeah, they do. Kuwait's government is pro-US. Kuwait's people, Kuwait is a minority rule state. Its government and king are pro-US. Its people, its majority Shia people, are anti-US, pro-Iran. Same thing with Bahrain. So there's rumors about whether Iran's going to try to take Kuwait back. Kuwait belongs to Iran, as does Basra. We took them. And well, maybe not Basra. We at least took Kuwait. The British took Kuwait. And they took Bahrain from Iran in territorial wars of conquest. And Iran wants them back. Iran wants Kuwait really bad. Now, let me show you how many missiles we fired from Kuwait last night. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 HIMARS in a row in one launch sequence, probably more. You see all those dop and chops. You have a wonderful day, Standing Stones. I will be around, my dear friend. You're wonderful. You feed that puppy. The puppy needs food. Look at those HIMARS. That's a lot of... yeah, the Shah. That's exactly right. Kuwait was taken as like a way to export British petroleum in the early 1900s. Bahrain was just given away, kind of like when the Dutch took Manhattan, or when whoever bought Manhattan from the Native Americans for like $26. Very similar. That's how Bahrain was created. Iran was forced to sell it for very cheap. Did you know the way that Iran was colonialized was when they first found oil, the British Petroleum Company, it was called like it was kind of like the East India Company. It was like a state chartered British company. They went into Iran and forced the Iranian government in like 1890, etc., to give the British 84% of the oil revenue that was coming out of Iran, and Iran got to keep 16%. Iran had to build the facilities, Iran had to staff them, and do all the labor, and they got to keep 16% of their own oil. That's actually why Iran has a parliament in 1907, 1908. The Iranian people were like, wait a minute, this is a terrible idea. Why did our government do this? And they created a parliament. Britain told the Iranians they couldn't have a parliament. So the reason Iran's the world's only theocratic democracy is because, and the parliament's subservient to the supreme leader, but that's another story. The Iranian parliament is a symbolic representation of anti-British colonialism, because the British told Iran they couldn't have a parliament. So that's why it's still around, even though it's very devolved. When I say it's a devolved parliament, I mean you have to get something called the Guardian Council's permission to run for parliament. The political branch of Iran's government is lower in the constitutional hierarchy than the Supreme Leader and the Supreme National Council and the IRGC, which is a separate but hierarchically predominant set of institutions. The political branch is just kind of like a nominal, like sort of symbolic, like homage to the British told us we couldn't do this, so screw you, Britain. Okay? Now, it's very important to understand this because you can't run for the Iranian parliament without getting permission of the Guardian Council, which is not the Supreme National Council. And the Guardian Council has 3 members, 2 of which are appointed by the Supreme Leader. Hold on. 1 second. It's been doing this a lot lately. Doesn't really cause much of a problem, but it's been doing this a lot. It just like freezes the chat up, gets all annoying. I think it's actually a good thing though. There's this new layer of security that YouTube has implemented. I really like it. I like it a lot. I'm not going to talk too much about how it functions, but let's just say, yeah, there must be things going on because most streamers probably won't see it. It depends on how you do your configuration and how you stream, whether you use like a StreamYard middleman or whether you actually use an RTMP client. This is very different. I like it. But yeah, you really got to be you. You can't be messing around anymore. They must have an issue with people hijacking channels or something. I've never been checked in the middle of a stream. That's crazy. That's wild. They make you do it while you're live. I like that though. That's great. I'm a fan. YouTube is improving its security measures. I'm a fan. Here's more footage of the launches from Kuwait towards Iran last night. One, two, yeah, you can see them all in the background there. Okay, now I want to show you more footage of the Iranian cluster munition from Erbil. Good morning, the kind Oracle LA. We were just talking about you. We were posting the pancake emojis. You're wonderful. Oh, yes. So I got to go to the towel doctor today. I'm not speaking to anyone in particular. I just was reminded of the wonderful pancake emojis. But unrelated to that, if you'd like to help Towel today and you are enjoying this public information service, I sometimes forget to remind folks that there are ways to sort of spread it out, the sort of support of this service. It's designed to educate, inform, and entertain, and engender, coach, and public discourse, this news network, such as to ward off the usurpation of our forms of government worldwide. But I also, need a little help staying alive. So if you're able to and you'd like to help and you want to support, please don't feel obligated. It's designed to be free to access. You should not donate if it would be a burden on you or your family or otherwise, or your animals. We love the animals. But if you're able to and you'd like to help, I got to go around and do things and etc. If you want to help Tao, there's ways to do so. You can scan the codes on the screen. There's a Cash App, # Grant Smith Ellis. There's a Venmo at Grant-E1. The picture is an Elmo statue in honor of my friend Elmo. He was wonderful. God bless his soul. The reason I have that picture is so when people ask me if my Venmo is the one with the Elmo, I can tell them about my friend Elmo. So that way his name will never be said for the last time. He was an Army veteran. He was a great man. He was in the Army. I don't think he was a Marine. I think he was in the Army. I'm going to have to double check. He didn't really like talking about his time in the service, but he was proud to have served. He was a good man. Very honorable. Wildflower, good morning. So good to see you. I'm doing okay. My there's something wrong with like the way I had a surgery about 12 years ago, and I got sewn together from one hip to the other, and due to various like things, due to like the nature of skin, I suppose, and like displacement of the abdominal viscera, that's a whole another like thing. Basically, like, think of someone who's wearing a corset that is tight-laced all the time. Now, I didn't want this. I naturally lost a lot of weight. Like, I worked very hard when I first got to college to lose weight naturally. I lived at the top of Heartbreak Hill on the Boston Marathon route 6 days a week while taking a full freshman course load at Boston College. I ran down that Heartbreak Hill, I ran down Lake Street, and then I went to the Beacon Hill Athletic Club because I couldn't really use the gym at the time. They were building a new one or something, and the old one was just, you couldn't really use the campus gym. So I went to the Beacon Hill Athletic Club that used to be over near the end of Lake Street there, and I would do weightlifting, and then I would do cardio. Then I would run back Lake Street. Then I would run up Heartbreak Hill, past St. Ignatius, back to my dorm that had no air conditioning. And then I would do my homework, and then I would wake up the next morning. All I ate were 2 meals a day, grilled chicken and rice for dinner, and then for lunch I had a honey Q sandwich from McElroy every day. I loved that honey Q sandwich so much that as long as I was at Boston College, which was for a long time because I went to grad school there too, they were not allowed to take the honey Q off the menu, because if they took it off the menu even one day, I would go and complain to the administration. So they had to keep that sandwich on the menu until I left Boston College. It's still there 2 days a week too. I keep an eye. Trust me, I keep a very close eye. They are never getting rid of that honey Q sandwich. It's like popcorn chicken with honey barbecue sauce, sticky white rice, like a specific kind of sticky rice, and then honey ranch sauce, not honey ranch, just ranch, and then shredded cold white and yellow cheese. It is hands down. Now listen, you might say, Grant, you did not throw your influence around at Boston College so that a single sandwich stayed on the lunch menu at one dining hall for like 12 years. Yep, I absolutely did. And they absolutely did it just because I used to get really mad if there was no honey Q's. In fact, during the summer, when there was no honey Q's, I would go down to Eagle's Nest and I would talk to the nice woman who ran the salad bar, and she would make me a honey Q by getting a white wrap and some of the popcorn chicken and then the barbecue sauce, and we'd go find rice and then we'd construct one because I was so particular about what I ate that they would do it for me. They loved me. I had so much fun there. You must understand, like, for my entire life, I have been a guardian of the disenfranchised. So when I was at Boston College, I used to just go around and talk Spanish to, like, the different people that worked there. I had so many friends. And then when anyone would mess with them, my uncle was on the board of trustees, and I would just go throw my weight around and be like, how dare you? It was great. I had so much fun. You don't understand. And they'd be like, oh, no, it's Grant. We can't. It's Grant. They're like, yeah, it's Grant. We had so much fun. And that was Little Towel. I was just a washcloth back then. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know how to throw my weight around. I would just kind of go around and just say things and just kind of demand justice. Yeah, I would misfire from time to time. One time I told the Boston College Police Department that they didn't have the authority under Commonwealth v. Mullen to issue civil citations. They were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you don't understand. You're ratified as special state police officers, and under Commonwealth v. Mullen from 1996, you only have criminal enforcement powers. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, so any civil tickets you write are per se unenforceable. Marijuana had just been decriminalized. I trolled the ever-loving hell out of them. They had no, I was like a sophomore. It was like 2009. I was like this 20-year-old kid telling these cops like their enabling statute didn't allow them to enforce civil statutes because I found a case from 1997 that said as much, and it was good law, and I forced them to change departmental policy. This was me before, like, I was unleashed on the world. I was hilarious. And the funny thing is, they kinda respected the game. They were like, you know, I think it's better we just not go to battle with him. Like, just let him, we should just let him do his thing, which frankly was a very good decision. I had a lot of fun. I calmed down. The priest really helped me eventually, like, channel, you know, my energy. Like, I spent a lot of time with the Jesuits. It kind of helped me make sure that, like, you know, passion was channeled effectively in the bureaucratic power channels that be, you know. But yeah, you don't want to mess with Towel, even like 20-year-old Towel. Hey, listen to me. I understand. What is your name? Manstrom. That sometimes you may not understand what someone is saying. That does not mean that you are lacking mental capacity. Why would you ever degrade yourself like that? You are capable of understanding what I'm talking about. You can Google Commonwealth v. Mullen. It's a fascinating case from 1996. You can Google the enabling statute of special state police officers, and you can discern whether this is accurate. But just to say you don't understand it, so you're lacking intellectual capacity, you deserve better, okay? You deserve better. Treat yourself better. Anyway, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. That was that cluster munition that I mentioned. Now, this was the anti-aircraft activity over Teton. I got like 10 more minutes and I gotta go, but I'll be back. Thank you, Danek. God bless you. So the Iranian capital was struck for the first time last night. Okay, then Iran fired back towards the American bases in Jordan. Here's footage from on the ground in Iran of those launches. Thank you, Standing Stones. God bless you for your kind words. I don't mean to have to rush through all this, but I do have to go to the doctor. We'll have more time, depending on how things unfold. The takeaway from this morning stream is that whatever happened overnight is a sign of a drastic escalation. Okay, here's more anti-aircraft activity in Tehran. Oh yeah, so Iran still has air defenses, let's be clear. Thank you, Neo Mortal Girl. God bless you. Well, sleepy time. If they do, at least they'll have those air defenses to fire to protect their civilians. I really only care about people not hitting civilians and the animals and the goats. Here's footage of direct strikes on American bases in Jordan. Those are the missiles down there. Take a look in the bottom. You're going to see the strike. The impact is going to be in the bottom. You're going to see a little poof. The American base in Jordan is one of the most important bases for American ballistic missile launches. Here's more anti-aircraft fire in the Iranian capital of Tehran last night. That was the Iranian capital of Tehran last night. Now I'm going to show you east of Jordan. This was the American Blue Base hit by Iran. Okay, now I'm going to show you footage from the Blue Base in Jordan being struck. Okay. Now I'm going to take you to U.S. air defenses firing over Jordan overnight. There was a lot of activity. Okay, now I'm going to show you footage of air defenses in Parchin, Iran, near the capital. Yep, Jordan has a lot of Israeli air defenses. I pray for peace as well every day, that kind, Oracle LA. Now I'm going to show you an impact on the American Blue Base in Jordan. Impact on the American Blue Base in Jordan. This was overnight. Now I'm going to show you Mr. President Trump's interview yesterday night on Fox Business, just a clip posted by the White House. Here's what Mr. President said.
You came to the conclusion that you couldn't negotiate with the IRGC. Does that mean that you might wipe them out like you did ISIS?
Yeah, it does. We will see what's happening. We received a call just as I was coming here. They want to meet. They always want to meet. But, this should have been done by other presidents for many years, for 47 years, but really a lot longer than that, and it wasn't. And I never understood why, but now I do. Because if you're not going to do it the way I'm doing it, you're never going to make a deal with them. They were very difficult. They're good negotiators. They were tapping everybody along for 47 years. Then Obama came in and he just offered them, a fortune of money. He paid them off. $1.7 billion in green cash and hundreds of billions of dollars. And that really set everyone else back because they started wanting to make nuclear weapons. And then we hit them just about a year ago, with the B-2 bombers, and that ended that. So we got a little bit lucky. Our timing was a little bit lucky.
Yeah, so Mr. President, Dan Kane, Raising Kane, is your chief of staff.
Right.
He was the one, or Joint Chief of Staff, he was the one who wiped out ISIS.
That's right.
Could he be tasked then now to wipe out the IRGC if you can't negotiate with them?
Well, we're going to be in good shape. I mean, they are really, they've been depleted. Their weapons are down 91%. The drone capacity is way down. They still have, but not a lot. Their manufacturing capacity is down. Their rocket launchers and their missile launchers are way down. Their missiles are way down. They're probably depleted by 88, close to 90%. Now, that doesn't mean there's still not danger, and there is. They're nasty people, but they want to make a deal. I can tell you they want to make a deal, and you don't have to be a genius to realize when you see what's happening to them every night, and now today we gave them a little daytime shot, too. So this should have been done not by me. This should have been done a long time ago, long before me.
Okay, that was Mr. President. By the way, I will not have coverage of today's Zoom hearing in the Karen Read case. It's a status hearing. But I will have follow-up coverage for you later this afternoon after my doctor's appointment. Here's the footage CENTCOM released after the attacks on Iran last night. U.S. strikes on Iran overnight. CENTCOM footage. That's a radio tower falling over. And that's a jet on the runway being destroyed as it was moving. That's wild. That last one is a jet on the runway. That's a jet and they hit the jet as it's moving to go on the runway. Now I'm going to show you footage of Iran launching. This is the Iranian Army statement, okay? Not the IRGC. This is the Iranian Army, which is different. This is their statement last night.
Conversation. Translated from Arabic. Breaking. Iranian Army, in the 9th phase of Operation Thunderbolt, in response to the child-killing enemy's violations of areas in our country and the Bambor base in the Iranian city of Miranshah, which resulted in the martyrdom of 7 officers and members of the army. Iranian Army interceptor drones targeted a fixed radar site, a communication system, and fuel depots belonging to the American terrorist and aggressive army at the Blue base in Jordan. This base is considered a deployment site for missile defense systems, and it is one of the most important strategic and command centers for the American invading forces in the West Asia region.
Okay, here's the footage. It's going to be loud. So remember, when Iran's army and the IRGC are doing things at the same time, that means that the IRGC and the Political Bureau and the IRGC, the Supreme Leader, are on the same page. Here's the statement from the IRGC released this morning after last night's wave of attacks, translated to the English by a towel released 2 hours ago.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. آمریکای جنایتکار همچنان به یاغیگری و ناامن‌سازی منطقه ادامه می‌دهد. ابتدا مجدد تاکید می‌شود تحت هیچ شرایطی و به هیچ وجه به آمریکا به عنوان یک کشور بیگانه و فرامنطقه‌ای اجازه دخالت در تنگه هرمز را نمی‌دهیم. این خط قرمز شکست ناپذیر ایران است. در صورتی که تهدیدهای اخیر رئیس جمهور از تویی سرشار آمریکا مبنی بر هدف قرار دادن زیرساخت‌های ایران اسلامی توسط ارتش متجاوز آن کشور عملی شود، همه آنچه که بنا به نجابت ایران هنوز سالم مانده، یعنی تمامی زیرساخت‌ها در منطقه، زیر ضربات پولادین نیروهای مسلح مقتدر جمهوری اسلامی ایران در هم کوبیده خواهد شد. آنچنان که اثری از آنها بر جای نماند و گویی از ابتدا وجود نداشتند. دشمن نادان بداند لحظه حماسه برای ما لحظه پرهیز نیست. آنچه از سوی نیروهای مسلح ایران رخ می‌دهد ضربه همتراز نیست، ضربه برتر است، ضرباتی که شدیدتر، گسترده‌تر و ویران کننده تر از همیشه خواهد بود. آتش خشم ملتی که هیچگاه تسلیم نشده دامن متجاوز را خواهد سوزاند و من نصر الا من عند الله العزیز الحکیم.
Yeah, that guy's definitely AI. He speaks for the Qatim al-Kebab, the combined command prophet of the headquarters of the prophet, peace be upon them, command. He's AI. He's a composite. I know the program they use to make that. You can't kill him. It's genius. He was killed in the beginning days of the war. It's believed. I believe he was killed in the beginning days of the war. And in his honor, they created an AI composite with his prior speeches and image, and he is their spokesman. You can't kill him. There's continuity in their statements. It's genius. Now, listen, I knew this was serious, ladies and gentlemen, when the IRGC released this morning. They only put this song in videos when they've done it 4 times over 100 videos. Okay, they put out a statement this morning, and they put out this video with it. So let's listen to the statement first, and then we'll watch the video. Then I got to go to the doctor. Okay, do I have the statement? I might not have the full statement yet, so we'll just watch the video. All right, this is how we'll end. If you're wondering, are things about to escalate? Well, this video hints at it. It's the song. They never put the song in the video. They've done 100 and something videos, the IRGC. They put this in 4 of them. And they put the new Supreme Leader's picture on the missile. ladies and gentlemen. So just to quickly summarize the importance of the song, as I said in chat, the IRGC has done a lot of launch videos. They do them often for each wave. When the IRGC is launching waves of attacks and calling it Operation X, which they're doing now, they're on wave 10. The IRGC, the Iranian army is doing its own wave of attacks. But when you see launch videos and you hear Operation, whatever they're calling this, True Promise 5 or Operation Victory, wave 8, 9, 10, 11, that means they're actively at war. And they put these videos out. Out of 120, 111, maybe 120, it's 111 probably now, videos from the IRGC of launches, they prove that they have missiles by showing they launch missiles, put out a statement claiming the launch, and then the next day released a video of the missiles they launched with like pictures and messages on them. That's their signature. That's how you know it's them. When they launch and they put a statement out, they mostly don't have music in the videos. It's like they'll have a guy quietly putting a picture on like a missile, and then it just gets loud and you just hear the roar of the rocket engines, the missile engines. When they put the song on a video, that's their like war song. We know some of their war songs. This is their like, not to pump up the people song, this is their we are mad and we are going, like we're fighting right now, like we're at war and we're going to escalate song. So that's how I interpret it. It's only used rarely, 4 times over 120 videos. And it's at moments where like we've done, the US or Israel has done something very bad. Like then Iran's about to roar like a lion. And I only analyze it this way because I need to give people some forewarning if my Towel early alert system is kind of buzzing, and I'm concerned based on the tenor of attacks, the tone of the statements by the parties, and where this could all be going. For now, oh, thank you so much, Mercatinos. My pleasure. God bless you all. Thank you for your support of Towel Channel. I'll be back. This is not the end of your broadcast day. I got to go to the doctor. Thank you all for your support. God bless you for your for being you. May God protect us all and the animals. My name is Grant Smith Ellis, signing off for now, but not for the day, on Towel News, youtube.com/@GrantSmithEllis at 9:04 a.m. Eastern Time here in Boston at the War Desk. It's 3:04 p.m. in South Africa, 4:04 p.m. in Tel Aviv, Israel, and 4:34 p.m. in Tehran, Iran. See you all in a few hours. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being you. I have to go now. I pushed it as much as I could. I must go to the doctor and do towel health things. Thank you. God bless you.